All right, so I guess we're back to this for a little bit until I can figure out the rest of it. So here we go. Episode number 1, season 2. We will try to figure out. I'm not sure how to add somebody to a live from a CP. So I had the software all fixed up. The link wouldn't work to add James, so we tried to go Facebook Live on the fly, and here we are. Because for some reason on the phone it's super easy, just add a button. But I mean that's just I thought the other one was gonna work here, so it's okay. We'll get there eventually. I think at the end of the day, me and James are definitely not computer guys, so we're of course sports guys. That was a struggle.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on there. It's the CP is completely different than the phone. On the phone, you tap one button, everyone joins up, good to go.
When I clicked the link for the Riverside, it just kept saying, like, bringing me to a screen saying, "Start your own podcast." I didn't even have I was just gonna paste it in, like following through there, but it never gave me that option at all.
Yeah, then when I did it on my end, I pressed the link and it just automatically brought me in.
Yeah.
We'll try again. We'll see each other next weekend. We can do a test run in person.
Sounds good.
Well, Happy New Year's, James. How was your holidays?
It was good. Busy. Family's big on both sides, so there's lots to do. I got a couple days of cornhole in too, but yeah, it was busy. It was good though.
Nice. Yeah, same. I went down south and played. I ran a blind draw for James Finley in Midland. And then I went to Matt's Regional in Kitchener and played with Dave Dean, so that was super fun.
Nice.
And then burned back. It was perfect. It was a good couple of tournaments in between all the Christmas stuff. You were back at work today?
Back at work today. Yeah, 2 days, and then back to a weekend. So short week. Short week this week. Short week next week. So good.
Yeah, and you're running an event this weekend.
Yeah. Saturday is our 4-joke regional number 4. It'd be 4. Yeah, number 4.
Yeah, it's January, so that'd be number 4. I think we have a busy month of cornhole all across the country. Even I was finalizing some of my stuff today for the ACL Canada Facebook page, and just going over like the upcoming events. I'll just run down a little bit of it quick. We got in Ontario this weekend, you and Rude Rebel in Oshawa. Then next week on Tuesday, we have West Coast Cornhole in Victoria, BC is having their opening night, so that's exciting.
That's good.
Yeah, another province with that ACL expansion. Also, Nyan is hosting his doubles regional on Tuesday in Lindsay, so that'll be the same same venue where we're playing provincial. So if anyone wants to go get some throws in before the weekend,
Was that
that's the place to go. Check out the venue.
Did you say Tuesday or Thursday? On Thursday, right?
Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his Tuesday league is in Lindsay. His Thursday league's in Cannington.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
And then we're gonna have a regional in Alberta on the same weekend as our provincial. The Okotoks Prairie Dogs are hosting one in Okotoks, Alberta. Cornhole Newfoundland has a regional that weekend. Cornhole Gatineau has a regional that weekend. Who else here? Yes, that's it for that weekend. And then the following weekend, Lynn and Steve have a regional Eastern Ontario Cornhole in Toledo and Elgin, Ontario. The blind draws on the Friday is in Toledo, and then the singles and the doubles on Saturday
You
in
know,
Elgin. They must be very close. That same weekend, Portage Cornhole Club in Portage La Prairie, Manitoba, another ACL
no,
league, this time in Manitoba, are
nice,
hosting a local tournament.
perfect, good start.
Yeah. And then we have a regional in Drummondville that weekend. The following week is Garden City, Delhi, Nickel City. I'm hosting one in Sudbury, and the Dirty Birds in Wallaceburg. So a full calendar right across the country.
Yeah,
So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 provinces.
yeah, it's good to see some of those other provinces get going here. Hopefully, they have good opening nights and can continue to build their player pool up here.
Yeah, I think that was exciting for me. And the one, it's so funny because you think you know what's going on all the time, but in Niagara Falls, I was sitting with Matt, and he's like, "Did you know that there's a ACL director in Manitoba?" I said, "No." He said, "Neither did I." So not even Matt knew this. This was a couple of guys in Manitoba that wanted to run a cornhole league and signed up as local directors and just started running. They're just running like tournaments for local points.
Perfect. That's a good
Yeah,
start, though. Yeah,
yeah, they've already had one. This will be their second one.
perfect.
Awesome. So right before Niagara Falls and right after Niagara Falls, we started going through all the players, in Ontario. So you and I are part of the ACL Ontario rankings board. We regularly review players' wins, performance, PPR, and move them up as not as we see fit, but as the rules state, right? I
Correct.
mean, if you win a few times in a division and your PPR's not quite there yet, but you're close, you're going to get moved up. And then the ACL Canada has created a PPR standard this year for Canada.
Strictly
And
for
we've
Canada
been
this time.
following that, right, to make sure people are in their right divisions. And this is something that we want just to talk about today because it's important that we get these players in the right divisions to keep the divisions fair, right?
Yeah, I think um, you know all levels of players and everyone that shows up to a tournament or a local night, depending on how you do things, want to have a fair crack at doing well. Um, so we have to continue to look at a process where we're moving players up and putting them in the right divisions. Now, with that comes a lot of steps, like you mentioned, looking at PPR, looking at wins, looking at all these sorts of things to get to that point. But I think with the staggering number that we found, I
Yeah.
think it was a process that was long overdue and a process that needed to be taken care of and done. So I'm sure that there'll be a lot of people noticing a change in the rankings.
Right. I mean, and I think at the end we had about 140 people from the start of the season, and a lot of that was just we have access to a list of all the players in the province. Well, really all the players everywhere, but I mean the only ones that we really care about are the ones in Ontario, like for this
Right.
process, right?
Yep.
And we just went through, and if you were a novice and your PPR was 6.4, then you were bumped to intermediate, and it was completely unbiased, completely by the numbers. And just in case anyone's not sure of what those numbers are, novice is 5.9 and under, intermediate 5.9 to 6.9, comp is 6.9 to 7.8, and is advanced is 7.8 plus. And if players are getting nervous about maybe getting bumped up to advance at a 7.8, locally and regionally they should have been playing advanced anyhow, really. And then at at provincial events, the great thing is there is advanced and there is open, right? So play advanced at the start. The player pool is usually smaller, and usually it's that same group of players that either just got bumped up or have a PPR somewhere in there that don't think or don't want to play open, right?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I mean, if your PPR is at that level, you can play at that level because your
Yeah,
PPR has already proven that. We can talk about wins too. Sometimes style of play dictates a lower PPR, but can dictate a high level win percentage.
that's
So
right.
some people that were in that list were people that continuously end up on podiums at regionals, or have done well at opens, or coming into our first provincial here, maybe we see something out of that where a provincial result may dictate something needs to happen with the ranking. But like going through the process, it was something that had to be done. I think clearly again by noticing the number of players that were bumped and some of the stats. It was a little bit eye opening going through it and seeing it. And really, what we want to do is create a fair playing field for all levels of player.
That's right.
So by going through PPR and tournament wins and that thing, we're trying to do the best that we can to create that. Is it going to be perfect? No, nothing's
No,
ever perfect. But we're trying to do the best that we can to create a good playing atmosphere and a fair playing atmosphere for all of our players here.
that's right. And I mean, a lot of those players that I bumped, I mean, I don't know who they are, and perhaps they've played 2 league nights and their PPR was a 7. And maybe after 7, maybe that's all they've played, and they were prematurely. But it's no problem. You send anyone a message. Adam Hubbard is our provincial director, and if you tell him that you think you're in the wrong division, he can look at it thoroughly, and we can make a decision, because that's not what we want to do either. We just needed to start somewhere, and then we can start moving the pieces a little bit more until we get it a little bit better.
Yeah, and I think as we go and as the game grows, the PPRs in some of the areas are higher. Some players maybe that were bumped from 2 years ago that were playing intermediate that got bumped to comp. I mean, you can always go down too, but
Yeah,
you do need to go through the process of asking questions. You do need to say, hey, is there something that we can do to look at this? It can't just be expected that we're going to go through every single player in Ontario nightly to see if someone needs to be moved up or moved down. So if you're on the opposite end of the spectrum, you need to reach out to one of your regional directors.
yeah,
Maybe that's a good starting process. Talk to them, see where they're at, see where you're finishing at, in your regionals that you're playing. Just because you're not winning every event doesn't mean that you do not belong in that division.
that's right.
So I think that's one of the biggest issues when I've had conversations previously. Just because players aren't winning every event, that doesn't mean you don't belong in that division.
Or even if you go 0-2, it doesn't mean that you don't belong in that division.
Like we
Sometimes
just had this discussion, right?
that's right.
Well, I just said to you, I said I won a regional last year throwing a 815, and then I went 0-2 in a regional throwing a 926.
That's
Sometimes
right.
that's how it goes.
Yeah, no, I also think it's important to embrace the division and the promotion. I mean, you got promoted because you're playing well at a game that you're trying to play well at. That is the point, right?
Yeah,
So when you do get promoted, maybe you're at the bottom of the next division. But as you keep practicing and you keep climbing the ladder, then you'll start competing. Maybe if you're an intermediate player and you've got bumped up to competitive, and your first competitive event, maybe you go 0-2. And maybe the next time you get one win, but you're going to start climbing that ladder. Now the top competitive players, maybe they've gotten better and they're going to get promoted to advanced, and the divisions equal out, and next thing you know, you're in the middle of the pack in the comp division. Getting those promotions, I mean, it is a promotion. It's because that you've worked really hard, your game has gotten a lot better, and you deserve to be in the next level. I find that sometimes players take it as a negative when it's really a positive.
Yeah, I like I said, I think that at the end of the day, what we want is we want fair competition in all divisions. So if you are, say, a comp player that's continually throwing a 7.5 and winning every other regional you play in, but getting a podium when you don't win, I mean, what happens to the guy that's throwing the 7-1 in comp that will never have a chance to win? So what we want to do is try to create, you know, the best games. Firstly, if your skill levels match, it's going to create good competition, and that creates fun for everybody. And we just want to be fair. At some point, you're gonna, people are gonna go up. Like you don't have a choice. You've gotten better. There's guys out there throwing 3 and 4 nights a week, going, "Well, I don't understand why I'm getting bumped." Well, I don't know, because your PPR jumped a point and a half.
Yeah. Yeah,
Some of
no,
it
I mean,
is
and
like I'm like, it seems kind of ridiculous to say it, but at the same time, like, I'm not quite sure what else we were supposed to do. Like, we need to keep growing the game, and having players stay stagnant in one division and continue to win isn't gonna help that at all.
no, I think a good thing too is that I mean, especially if you live in a border town or you think about you want to travel to the U.S. and you're worried that your ranking might affect your gameplay in the U.S. because their
Their point
standards
structure
are
is different.
higher
Yep.
than ours. I talked to Matt about this on the weekend too, and he said, get these guys to reach out, and if they want to, if their PPR is a 7.9 and they're worried about getting bumped to advance because they want to go play in Brighton, Michigan in March, well, in Canada, you're advanced. We'll bump you to advance. You can play advanced here. When you're going to go play or in Brighton, we have no problem bumping you back down to competitive for the weekend and bring it back up after. So you can compete there. You can compete here. I mean, no one's running anyone over the coals. We want everyone to have fun. That is why we do this. So
I think it comes down to really communication, right?
that's it.
I think a lot of on the player side, you see complaints and this and that, and why is this and why is that, but they've never gone and had a conversation with the director. They just say it amongst themselves, or say it on a social media board or one of those things, and they're not having the conversation with the director. Like, I know a few times I've had conversations with some of the guys out of Windsor that like to go over play in Michigan, and they said, "Well,
Yeah.
what can we do? We don't want to get this because we have to play up and play down." You just got to have the conversation. So I know last year there was a few that went over, and they maneuvered the rankings to help them out and put them in the proper level when they played over in Michigan, and when they came back, they got moved back to where they would play here in Canada.
Yeah, right. It's easy. It's just those conversations have to be had. And when you get bumped up to, if you're throwing a 7-8 and you get bumped up to advanced, don't be upset. Be proud. And maybe the first tournament's gonna be rough, but I mean it's not. Everyone that can throw an 8 can also throw a 9. They're just also throwing a 7 sometimes.
Yeah.
It's you're gonna be able to compete with all of those players.
I think that there's different ways to win at different levels. Like, say for instance, maybe a novice, you're still having people worried about hitting the board,
Yeah.
for example, right? And then, you move up to intermediate and you're worried about, oh, maybe I could try a block, or, you start to develop another shot, and then you go to comp, and then you might need to develop a really good push shot, whatever the shots are. It's no different being bumped at any level. You need to find out what is going to make me better at this level, and what are the players that are beating me, what are they doing better than me? Because whatever they're doing better than me, that's where I need to practice. So you're going to see it at all levels where players are going to have to, once they're bumped, they're going to have to figure out what their strategy and way of winning is at that level, and they're going to have to work on it. Like you said, yeah, first time you might go 0-2, but the third time you might go 2-2, and maybe the fourth time you're getting on a podium or whatever it needs to take. But if you're not, you're going to go into it with a bad attitude, and you're not going to try, and you're going to be upset about it. I don't think it's going to work out for anyone.
No, right. I mean, I think that the takeaways are getting promoted is not a punishment. it is a promotion.
It
It's
means
a
you've done really
positive.
well. It means you've done really well.
Yeah, it means you're getting better at your hobby, which is what we want, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, all players from novice to open, I mean, can have a 9 game. Last year, last April, my son, he is a novice player. His PPR is hovering right around 4 right now. And in a doubles match, he threw a 9-5 over 6 rounds. He was just on fire and played really well. And over 6 rounds, in a doubles match, that's gonna happen across all the levels, right?
Yeah, you're going to see numbers showed out. You could see a novice player at the Open. Someone shoots an 8 against you, and you're like, "Whoa, that player shouldn't be in our division." But then what you didn't realize was the next game they shot a 3.2.
Yeah.
Right. So it's going to happen. You're going to see high numbers, and you're going to see low numbers in all divisions. It's just putting players in the division that they most consistently shoot in.
That's
I guess
right.
that would be the best way to say it.
Yeah, and I mean, at three months into the season, most of us have played, quite a number of rounds. Our PPR doesn't move around as much, after a good, I had a really good weekend last weekend, and I think I went up a .04 in like 150 rounds. So at the start of the year, it definitely moves around a lot more. Now we're gonna start sinking in there where a player's, you'll really be able to see that upward trend where, a guy middle of December was a 6.5 and started playing real good. And by February, he was a 6.9 because he just had that steady rise. And now it's time to try the next division.
Yeah, I think also too, if we're speaking of on how players maybe move coming up, maybe going forward with not seeing that PPR jump as much as you see in the starting of the season, maybe we would look more at wins in podiums, at regionals and at major tournaments like Opens or provincials. The PPR isn't the tell-all stat
That's right.
on your performance in the division. So. Going forward, I mean, there's many ways, like we've already talked about, on how we can move players up. So just keep that in mind if you're in that position.
And I think another good thing to do if especially if you're right on the cusp there, and maybe you don't want to get moved up because you have a big event coming up. Play up at regionals, and no one's gonna give you a hard time at opens and conferences. I mean, it's just that's the place to try it. And in my regionals, I have a certain skill level across all the divisions, and I have PPR limits for every division. And if they sign up in the wrong division, I'll message them and move them. And if they're a little bit over my standards, I'll go look at their stats because I want this to be fair across. And I offer 4 different divisions, and I want it to be competitive across all 4, right? So open division at my events is a 7+.
Yeah, and I guess each area would be a little bit different. With that, you guys are a little bit more, I don't know what the word is, secluded up
Well,
there.
yeah, I mean, there's not as many players, right?
Whereas some of us down here, we could see players from, maybe at my regional on Saturday, I might see players from 10 different clubs
Yeah,
in our area show up to play. So, oh yeah, each area is going to be different, but I do agree with you. It's something that I've told quite a few players already this year is if you're worried about getting bumped or you're unsure or you're not quite sure on how it's going to go, play up one time. Try it out. Maybe
yeah,
play up
try it
2
out.
times. Try it out and just see how it goes. We recently had a player that was moved up to comp and, I mean, showed up to his first event and won.
Yeah. No,
I
I
mean,
mean,
yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
You play better against better players too. I mean,
It's a little bit different. Like I said, intermediate, the board's probably going to be a little bit more mucky, right? There's going
yeah,
to be more bags on the board. The higher you go, you might see bags on the board, but it's more set up that way instead of kind of being left and right and short and long. I mean, people are setting up blocks or people are setting up roll bags. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. No, it's definitely the game changes as the division change for sure.
Right.
All right. So I think the moral of the story is promotion good. Don't be upset when you get bumped. Be proud of your achievement.
Communicate. Communicate with your regional directors. Talk about it. Ask questions. Ask
Yeah, and
why
then
if you want. You know.
they can get the answers from Adam too, right? And I mean, if you know Adam, message Adam. I mean, he's got a there's no problem sending him a message or an email as well, right?
Right.
Okay, next I wanted to kind of get into we're a third of the way through the season, I guess, pretty much. And I just wanted to go over some maybe some players to watch, some players that we've seen, some good results we've seen, and not necessarily open players. These are players across all the divisions that are. And when we do stuff like this, I mean, this is mostly going to be Ontario stuff. That's really those are the only regional level players that we see all the time. The other provinces, it's mostly the top players, right? That we have a chance to watch and see and notice their achievements. But I mean, that's definitely something we're going to work on, trying to get a better grasp of the mid-level players across the country. But I mean, for now, we'll hit Ontario pretty good. And I think, for me, I've got 5 names on my list, and a lot of them are I got a couple from Simcoe County, and then the rest are kind of Niagara Falls, Hamilton, down your way. But one out of Stroud, plays the Moondog Leagues, is Josh Tress. So he started the season as a competitive player, and I mean, he was throwing, around a 7, and he quickly climbed up. His PPR is sitting right around an 8 now. He recently got promoted to advanced. He was super pumped that he did, and it's going to be James Finley's partner next weekend in Lindsay.
Nice.
James is super proud of him and has high expectations of him as well. So I think that's pretty exciting. Next, we have Terry Fraser. So I met Terry this past weekend in Midland, but Terry started out at Mike's League in Everett. Horseshoe player, wanted something to do in the summertime. Started playing cornhole. Moondog was telling me he's developed himself a little bit of a roll bag. Definitely a guy who's super into the game, traveling all over Simcoe County, playing the league nights, and he's definitely progressing. Next is a no-brainer, Eric Pearson.
I had him on my list.
Yeah, he was playing novice, last year at this time. He's almost an advanced player now. He won open doubles with another person on my list, Tara Lee from Niagara Falls. They won open doubles in Kitchener this past weekend. He was second in competitive singles this past weekend. He's just been on an absolute tear. And, I mean, the well-deserved win, too. He just, taking down Jeff Colbert and Larry Bone, James and Shar twice. Heck of a performance.
Eric a few times I believe has just missed out on making the pro qualifier as well at Open.
Yeah, in Niagara.
I think he was pretty close, and I think one time last year maybe it was at the Nationals.
Well, he was in Calgary as well.
Yeah.
I think he was 9th or 10th in Calgary.
Right.
So, I mean, real close.
Yeah.
And I think about the same in Niagara Falls.
Yeah, so he's knocking right on that door
and he's going to get there sooner than later. And then the other one was Tara Lee. That was his partner there, and this is someone I hadn't really seen much of before, and she came there and was Eric's partner, and I think they got into the bracket in the 7th seed because Matt did
rounders.
Excuse me, the rounders, and then divided into 3 tiers, and so and James and Shar just snuck in too, and then they met in the finals. And the other one is Mike Bourgeois. He made it to tier 1 in doubles. You know, he won. Did he win comp or intermediate singles?
I think intermediate.
Intermediate singles. He won intermediate singles. He's had quite a few wins this year. You know, he's definitely a player whose game keeps escalating, and he's on his way to promotions as well.
Yeah, he plays out of our league sometimes, and he plays in our regionals once in a while too. He actually just would have gotten a blind draw win on Boxing Day too. Tier 2 blind draw win, so a comp blind draw win out of our tournament. So
yeah, so I mean he's racking up the wins, and his game is getting really good, and and like all these, like none of these players except for Josh just got promoted to advanced, but all the other ones are intermediate and comp players who are with their stellar play slowly and surely earning themselves those promotions.
yeah, and this is what we're talking about. Players are going to develop over the course of time. Mike being an example where Mike was looking to get over the hump with some wins, and now he finally has, and his PPR shows it. His podium finishes show it. Even just play him in a league night, you can see that he's really developed his game, and he's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So who do you have on your list?
I would add a couple of those, but I'm going to add. I seen this girl play in Niagara. I believe she's a junior, and I would like to maybe see her out at a few terms. I think she's played Dirty Birds a few times. Vivian Leclerc.
Yeah, she's 15.
Yeah. So I seen her playing down at Dirty Birds, watching through their brackets. I've seen her playing with her dad at the Open,
That's
and
right.
I'd seen him win some games there. Her dad had come played. I think I played a blind draw with her dad, one of our blind draws. So I like to see where that one develops into. It'd be great to get another high-end junior player, and I think she definitely has the skill to do that. Someone out of our area would be Ben Klassen.
Yeah.
So Ben had just won with Mike B actually in that comp blind draw. Ben plays out of our league, and then you'll see him sometimes in Delhi and some other places playing too. But Ben's really working hard at trying to get better at the game. His game's definitely developed. I just had him on. Me and him were just partners in the bracket on New Year's Day too.
Yeah.
So Ben would be one to watch, and I think he just would have probably got himself a promotion from novice.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
From novice intermediate. Yeah.
One that kind of jumped out, I think, when we were going through the list of PPRs and stuff, would have been Jared Alexander. He's played in ours regionals. He's from the south too, so you might see him down in like Dirty Birds or playing some stuff down in Windsor. But he's had some good results. I'm trying to think who else. I don't know. You got two of my guys, so.
Yeah, I stole 2 on you.
I got Vivian, Jared, Ben. I'm trying to think else in our area. If anyone else kind of pops up. Mike B would be out of our area. Eric Pearson just finished second in our last regional. He lost in the finals to Scott Kenny.
Right.
Scott Kenny's a guy that's really been grinding.
Scott Kenny's game's been improving like crazy as well, right?
Crazy, yeah, like wildfire. He's really improved. So yeah, he just we bumped up to now play comp. He's got some intermediate wins, and he's the player I was talking about. Played his first comp tournament, and actually got the win there too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you run 3 divisions of singles at your regionals, James?
Yeah, so we run intermediate and comp in the morning, and then open singles in the afternoon.
That's right.
And then we just do open doubles, and then we split it up into 2 tiers. So
yeah, no, that's
so for doubles you get guaranteed 6 games for doubles. You get 4 in the rounders, and then you get we play a double knockout after that.
Yeah. Yeah. I do this. I do the same thing. Open double, splitting it into tiers, depending if it's 2 or 3, depending on players. I've started doing 4 divisions of singles. I just find as we've grown, it's just so much from the top to the bottom is so big.
Yeah.
So if I kind of split it up a little bit more,
Helps out.
yeah, it helps out, right?
I just seen John George in there with Drew McNay, a junior player. Yeah, seen him. He was a really noticeable player at the Open. I believe, did he end up getting a novice win at the Open? Drew McNay?
I forget. Right, his dad plays as well, right?
Yep, his dad plays as well. Yep.
Yeah. And then another junior player is Nico Gilbert from Timmins.
Yeah.
I mean, his PPR, he's at about a 6. He's almost getting ready for another promotion from intermediate to competitive, and hasn't even gone to another big event yet. His PPR just keeps rising from league nights, but he'll be in Lindsay next weekend, so it'd be exciting to see how he does there too. I'm wondering. I was talking to Adam today. We've got 5 juniors so far, so we need 6, obviously. So we're hoping some more juniors sign up. Oh, Nyan's watching. What up?
Oh, hi, Nyan. Look at this cool sweater I have. You see that? It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully we get a few more juniors. We're sitting at 5. I think we'll probably be fine. Usually, I mean, from last year,
yeah.
probably get about 3 more. I bet you we have 8 in the division. I'm wondering if Vivian and her dad Chris are coming. Wonder if Drew's coming. You know, with this year only needing the 1 event, there's a good shot that
people may pick
they'll wait for the Simcoe one that's closer. They live out west, and that makes complete sense, right? I mean, traveling for cornhole ain't cheap. We talked about that before.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm sure we'll get enough juniors to go. Lindsay's a new spot. We haven't played there before, so it'll be interesting to get up and see a new place to play. I know it's near Peterborough and Adam up there, but yeah, it'll be interesting. Looking forward to the weekend. Should be a good time.
Yeah, me and Jude are staying at Nyan's house.
Cool.
He's got. Oh yeah.
Okay.
He's got us in the guest. Whoa, what's this? Team Canada throws out. He's got us in the.
Just gonna steal it off my bazooka. Probably got my flag. He's probably got my flag, Geoff.
He told me that those were some wild accusations.
I know it. I knew it from. I had a feeling. I had a feeling right from the start, Nyan. I knew where that flag went to. I knew it.
Steal it when you leave it on your Zuka. What was I saying?
Lindsay, you're staying at Nyan's house.
Yeah, I'm staying at Nyan's house. So me and Judah have the guest suite. We're gonna go Thursday night after school because have some fun. Nyan said, "Yeah, just wait till Jude meets my cat, and I'm gonna be his favorite for sure." I said, "Shit, he doesn't care about your cat. We have 2 cats at home." I said, "It's the drift track that you have taped out in your basement with the RC cars that's gonna win him over."
Yeah. I might drop down in the favorite player category here.
Yeah. No, there's a good chance you will.
I can get back in it, Friday or Saturday. I just need to find a little chicken wing action for Jude.
Oh, a little chicken wing action. You just bring him some fireworks.
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty easy.
Yeah, I'll be right back. I'll be right back up there.
Yeah. Here, Jude, want to set off these Roman candles? Oh, thanks, Rammer. You're my favorite now.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish this off, Rammer, with the power rankings going into 2025. What I did for mine was I took into account pro standings in Quebec. I took into account some ACQ tournaments. There's high level talent there. Quebec and Newfoundland have had their first provincial event, so I used that in my weighing regionals. The players out west, obviously, is just mostly going to be how they've done at the pro events. But so I have a list. It's 3 Quebecers, 3 from Ontario. I've got number 5, Brandon Brown. You know, he's had, by his standards, I'm sure a rougher start than he was hoping for. You know, Brandon's used to winning everywhere he goes. He's winning all his regionals, but you know, the pro events, he's had a second, and then, you know, this past one, a couple of ninths. So I can expect him to be ready for Quebec 100%, but I'm going to put him at 5th. 4th, I'm going to put Lana Smith. She's perfect so far with regionals this year. She was the number 1 Canadian in open singles in Calgary. She finished 4th in pro doubles with Dawn in Calgary. She's had a great start to the season. She's number 4. Number 3, Sam Bebo. He's got a conference win. He has, a provincial win. He has pro wins, ACQ wins. Number 2, Will T2. You know, same thing. Will's won 3 pro events this season. But my number 1 is Simone Dallaire. I don't think there's been a better player. He won a giant ACQ regional. You know, we're talking singles and doubles, 100 plus players. He won the first provincial event. He won a pro event as a qualifier.
Yep.
He's my number 1 player in Canada right now.
Yeah, it would be hard to argue against that list. I think for the Quebec guys, their results have spoken for themselves. I mean, for me, I think I would have Will T2, I think, at 1, but just mixing these up. Dallaire would be right there. Bebo. Lana Smith would be up there. I think she's been the best player out of Ontario by a long shot. She is in tough this weekend. I don't know if the girls are going to four-peat. I'm going to say it's probably not going to happen this weekend at our regional.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. And I just can't. I don't think I have Brandon on there. I think he's had some bad luck with the bags,
yeah,
but his play has been really consistent, and I think Dion Kuza would be on there for me.
Okay.
He's had long runs like we always expect. He hasn't got, I guess, that big signature win on the. He would have lost last time to Sam, right? So
yeah.
in Niagara, but I think Dion's going to have a really strong second half. Not that his first half has been horrible. I just think that
No. There's lots of guys on the bubble of that
I think
list.
you just look at
Peter Gunn.
Yeah. I think for Dion, it's like Dion has a factor when you go up and play against them. It's like it just changes. It's Dion. Everyone, I don't know. Maybe it's just me and it's in my head. I don't know. But I'm going Dion to finish out my my power rankings. I think I've seen some of his games where he's had those long runs and he just lost to Simone there, or Dallaire.
Yeah.
I think that Dion is going to have a really big second half here.
Yeah, no, I can see it. I mean, I doubt very much that this top 5 that I have right now will be my top 5 in 3 months. I mean, it'll probably get moved around a bit. That is the cyclical nature of cornhole, right?
Yeah.
Guys go on heaters, and well, I remember when that happened last year with Corey. Corey went on a heater for about 2 months where he was winning almost every single regional that he went to, right?
Yeah.
But I find that happens very often in cornhole. Guys will get hot and they just can't, and they're feeling it so much, and they can't lose. And I'm not saying that when they are losing, they're playing bad, but it's just everything's going right for them for 6 weeks, 8 weeks.
Yeah, just get that bag luck. That one bag drips in, and they go to your opponent goes to board it and just nudges you, you fall. You shoot the airmail and then it was a little short, you rodeo in, like all these kind of things that happen, Yeah, it's definitely guys are on heaters. Like, you know, I mean, maybe next time we're doing this or after Drummondville, maybe it's like a Tim Sanchez up on this list, or like we said, Peter Gunn, or you know, someone else hops off the page and has a really good
Yeah,
really
Derek
good event.
Barrett, Craig
Yeah,
Halford, Dustin McLaughlin. I mean, the list goes
yeah,
on and on.
yeah, for sure.
Any one of those guys is capable of going on that heater, right?
Yeah,
So I'm a little bit disappointed that we're on Facebook Live because I had all this fancy new gear I wanted to show off
I
tonight.
know, I know it.
So I got these for Christmas.
Very nice.
Okay, and then I have my fancy mic here, which is not hooked up right now because we're on the phone. But I have this great new backdrop. So this is how I spent my Christmas day, setting this all up. I put some stuff up. That's the OG Canada Throws jersey.
Nice.
From the draft. There's my first ACL Canada jersey. Couple of plaques, some old bags there. But
yeah. Nice.
Nice. I spent the whole day down here. Alicia was like, "Oh, geez, you do." She's like, "That looks really good." She's like, "Spent the whole day organizing it. You were like a kid organizing his room because Jude was upstairs doing the same thing with his room."
Perfect.
Now I just need some LED lights along the top like Jude, and I'm laughing.
Yeah. Be all set up, ready to go here.
Yeah. Okay, Rammer. Well, that was good, and we'll figure the technical stuff out.
We can play around next weekend.
Yeah. Sounds good. I will see you next Friday. You're playing the blind draw Friday?
Yeah. I'll be driving up with Biggie and maybe Scott Kenny on Friday. We'll probably leave Friday morning.
Okay, perfect, man. Have a good one.
All right. See ya.
Bye.